And you guys are sisters, right?
We are.
And there's a third sister who's not here, who's involved in the business. So there's a nice bit of a content story right there, and I'll jump off the stage.
No worries. Okay, yes. Which way do I drive this? That one? Brilliant. Okay. That worked. That's always good to start with. I don't know if I need the microphone, but we'll sort of keep it close to see how we go. So we've been asked to talk about the Ketu story so far. From an idea in July 2015, we then followed with branding and other work to be commissioned in December. With a further 4 months of intense product curating, we launched in April 2016. We've just celebrated our second birthday, which was an important milestone for us. Our baby business is now a toddler, and we're getting the issues that are associated with, I guess, success to start with, followed by outgrowing some of the things that were okay to start with, but now we're having a few difficulties with. Initially, support from friends and family, probably what were our initial sales, and then now we're looking at the minority would be from friends and family, and it's definitely an unknown customer base that we're tapping. We would like some more repeat business. That's probably an area for us to focus on, but at the moment we're just happy with the volume of traffic that we're getting, but always eager for more. So who are we? We're three sisters, as Ben mentioned, with a 10-year age gap between us. I'm the eldest, Penny's the youngest. A common thing that people have to struggle with, or a common conundrum, is whether they're better off quitting or keeping their day jobs. We all have different careers in law, journalism and marketing. No, architecture. God, my brain is already blanked. So Ketu has had to fit around our other work-life commitments. The reality of this means is that we can't fully immerse ourselves. It has to fit around the other commitments that we have, which at different times are varying. And I think we'd love to be able to spend more time at different stages, but has to fit in with everything else that's already on our plates. So, as entrepreneurs with day jobs and no idea how to start an online retail store, we hopped on board the Shopify platform. Why Shopify? A friend who works in marketing got tired of being bombarded with our questions and said, why don't you check out Shopify and Big Cartel? We'd never heard of either of them, so we started a pros and cons list and went through in pretty good detail which one would match what we thought we would need to launch. We decided that Shopify was the best fit for us. I can't actually remember what the big difference was, but I think it was the user-friendly and the options that it had in terms of themes.
We sketched up an idea and that kind of mimicked what we wanted with different themes.
Yeah. With the benefit of hindsight, we like how accessible it is. It is that, with no knowledge, none of us can code. It's a real hack effort most of the time. We were still able to pull off something that looks professional to a standard that we were happy with. Don't mind me with my notes so I didn't forget anything as we were going through. So as I mentioned, through much trial and error followed by even more errors and more trials, we managed to cobble together and go live in April 2016. The comfort for us of outsourcing the responsibility of maintaining the payment gateways, customer personal data, cyber protection means that we don't have any regrets. The thought of other people have gone it a separate way and having to really keep on top of those challenges in a forever... I guess I'd say scary. I just don't want to have to deal with the stress of the responsibility that comes with keeping that information. We're definitely happy with what we've chosen. I'm going to pass over to Penny. It's that one there for the slides.
Okay.
And that's your
microphone. Okay, so building on what Jess said, we have had year-on-year growth, which is really exciting for us as a relatively new business as well. But we're starting to get to the point now that our theme is sort of no longer matching where we want it to be. So in the not too distant future, we're looking at rejigging that and sort of relaunching our website. And these are just some examples of things that us as consumers really appreciate in terms of when we shop. Just being able to go to new sale brands and things like that and make it sort of a simple journey for consumers. So that's what we're also looking at. Wrong way, sorry. So these are some of the brands that we do stock. They're the most probably well-known ones that we have. Mary Mecco, Fila Raven and Done by Deer. Initially, Mary Mecco was probably one of the bigger brands that we wanted to get on board before we even opened or launched. What these brands do for our website is they actually bring people to it because they're already known as well. Mary Mecca wasn't even online in Australia when we opened. One of the obstacles that we have faced is that they have recently gone online. But we've noticed that they haven't been as advanced as we would have thought, which is pretty good for us because we still get a lot of traffic from people just searching Mary Mecca or Unico or anything like that. Fjällräven, we were one of the first Australian stores to stock this brand, definitely the first in WA, and since having them we've had lots of traffic from that, but now we're also noticing that other big department stores like David Jones and things like that are stocking them as well. So we sort of have to re-engage and think what's our next approach going to be to still keep them but not bombard the market as well. So yeah, they're just different brands. With these, we also have a lot of offbeat brands that we source ourselves, and people that enjoy these brands tend to enjoy the other things that we also bring. So that's also good. And social media is a huge platform that we use to get across our products. I would love to say that we had this big sort of sophisticated social media plan, but we don't. We've really just hacked our way through. And we've learnt through doing that as well. Some posts that we think are going to work really well don't, and some that we don't think are going to do that well do. So it's really trial and error for us. This is our Instagram. Facebook and Instagram, but Instagram is really more of like an aesthetic thing for us, and we get a lot of international recognition on that too, which is fantastic because any interaction is really good on like Instagram as well, but Facebook as well. Anything's good. So the initial challenge is just sort of getting your brand out there, we found, and it can be a slow process, but once it picks up, it really sort of feeds itself in a sense. And there's some really helpful apps that you can use to plan different Instagram posts, like Buffer and things like that, that can help you lay out, weeks in advance what you want to put out to your audience. And someone explaining sort of the dark arts of SEOing to us originally sort of said, consider your brand as a digital footprint and always just try to create that and make it bigger and more connected. So we are on different platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all those sorts of things. We try to be across a lot of them just to widen our target audience as well. And also taking quality images yourself is quite important because then they get reposted and recognised, which is also benefiting your business. So we initially started emailing all our suppliers as well to say, we are stocking your products, can you please put us on your websites? That was a very helpful tool as well because people going to those wholesalers or suppliers will then see our brand and then be linked to it, which is really helpful if you're a relatively new business as well, trying to get your name out there.
There's a great Shopify report too in Alex that shows you where your referrals are coming from, so you can see just how much traffic you're getting from different sites that are linking to you or referring to you, that's only sort of probably come around, I don't know exactly, about the last 6 months or a year. We haven't had that since we started, but we found that quite helpful.
Yeah. In regards to Google Ads, we've had mixed sort of reviews, I guess, just because, to be honest, we don't really know how to use Google Ads to our benefit. It is something that we are going to look at in the future, but something we also struggle with is we don't have a very big budget for marketing. So in compared to different competitors and things like that, stocking similar products, we have to be creative. And in a way that we found being creative is sort of touching on what Ben was speaking about before, creating content yourself. We do lots of blogs to try to engage people, and this is a post that we tend to do through our newsletters and on our website. It's called Meet the Maker, so every single supplier or people that are involved in the brands that we stock, we try to engage and contact them and interview them with some really sort of deep content that we find interesting and other people will too. And the benefit of this is these people actually repost us, and in return we get a wider audience from it, and it's just a really helpful way. But along with the Meet the Maker, these are just all the people that we've interviewed. Along with this, we also do relevant blogs to what we're doing because a lot of the products that we stock are relevant to everyday life, and I think that's a very Scandinavian sort of ethos as well, just practical living ideas that you can do. So I went to Japan and sort of linked content to Mary Mecca, which is huge in Japan, and just taking advantage of different areas that you can go to create content, I guess, is quite important. But Jess will talk about a little collaboration we have.
Sounds good. Thank you. I might just sit down if that's all right. So I think what we've also talked about, as Ginger Bee was saying, not Ginger Bee, Bianca of Ginger Bee has a store, which I guess one day would be a dream of ours, or we'd think that would be wonderful. But as I mentioned, we've also got careers, so there is a juggling that needs to happen there. So the way around that for us was we have regular VIP nights, so we invite our entire customer base to come for an intimate evening. We have all of our entire collection on show. People purchase, we do complimentary gift wrapping, we usually theme it with drinks, food. We haven't yet got to entertainment, but I think we're looking at planning one with wine tasting, trying to sort of partner it up and value add, so it's not just about a shopping night, it's about, have a time out with your friends, come along, buy if you would like to, gift if you would like to, but yeah, we're pretty open, and they've been growing in popularity since we started. As I said, the large component was friends and family to begin with, and now we have a higher proportion of people that were unknown to us before. We enjoy being able to interact with our customers, which you really get with that bricks and mortar experience. What are they drawn to? What is of interest to them? What you thought would be exciting, nobody touches, or we've got a magnet toy that when you look at it in a box, it's not of any interest at all, but as soon as we take it out of the box and people are touching it, it's a whole nother level. We sold out that night that we had it opened up and on display. So for us, there's that learning of things that we sell at VIP nights. We sell our candle range. We almost sell it out every time we have a VIP night, but online we hardly move any at all. So there is a very different success depending on which way you're trying to sell it at the time, I guess. We're open to new opportunities. Last year we had a stall at the Swedish Club's Midsummer event, and we'd probably look at doing that again. We think that sort of the numbers added up for us and that made sense. Again, it's just trying to get in touch with people and in front of them and let them know what our offerings are. Something that we're very excited about is we've got an upcoming collaboration with Fox and Rabbit. We commissioned and designed and had some reefs made last year, and we did our own we attempted to try, and it turns out it's a lot harder to do a floral reef than we thought it was. So we consulted some experts and they produced some amazing products and imagery to go with that, and they're now going to run some workshops. So we're doing that in collaboration. They're also now referring back to our site. We've already had sales as a result of that. So these things take time, but we enjoy that networking element of it. What else is there? Probably our biggest advocates, no matter where we go, is always ourselves. So we're always talking about it, or if people mention things. And then you don't want to do it in a hard sales kind of way, but if people say, what are you up to? It's something else that colours our lives, and then we share that with our network, and then whether that network shares it even beyond. We say that everyone is buying gifts all the time, so we're trying to occupy a bit of a less serious space within that. I think everything got a little bit too serious there for a while, and our tagline is playful living and giving. We like to bring colour back. Marimekko in itself is a very joyous, happy brand, so we want to leverage off that as best we can, but then we'll get some people customers, and all they'll buy is Marimekko off us, and we'll get others that don't even touch it at all. So VIP nights, Marimekko is never really that successful for us. It doesn't have a great in-person success. But online it would be one of our biggest anchor brands that we have. Just last week, we joined the Afterpay phenomenon. I was reluctant for about 6 months, probably because of my background and where I work, but we thought it's worth a trial. We're going to give it 3 months and see what the impact is and whether we get any uptake from it. According to Afterpay, they have 2.8 million visitors each month to their store directory, so if we can get any hit from that, it'll be worth it. I mean, my concern is also based at the 6%. I don't know if many people are on Afterpay or if they have much success with it, but at such a high cost, you really want to make sure that it's worth it. And if it does end up being, I don't know if we're doing questions, but sure.
What's the name of your store again?
Ketu.com.au. It's Finnish for Red Fox, but we're not Finnish. It took us a while to find a name that hence when we're two foxes getting together. There's been a play on the marketing with that as well.
Afterpay works on an old school white pages AA kind of thing. So if you can add an A on your submission to Afterpay on the front page, and lots of people shop Afterpay by going to the Who Uses Afterpay website.
Did not know that. Thank you very much. We are always learning these things. We're finishing up. This is our last slide. So what we came up with, some of this does tie on things that people have touched on before. We would say that the learning never stops, as we just had then. Listen and absorb all that you can from around you, and don't let it affect your confidence. I think there can be times when you get a bit of a knock, or a competitor appears to be doing something and you think, wow, they have blown it out with that. We can't match that. I think stay true to what you want to do, which I think is what Bianca was saying as well. I think, if you're getting some success with what you're doing, don't be deterred by that. You do have times when you sort of do reflect, but don't let it knock you too bad. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Our second one would be regular health checks. So that's, as I said, we're going through a pretty serious health check at the moment, and we probably hope to have a new theme launched within the next, I think we're aiming for a month, but again, we'll see how we go. You want to test your site. What's not working? Did something you add not work out? The work you did last night, have you actually checked it to make sure that it hasn't impacted it in a negative way? So the next day when a customer's on there, it then becomes an issue. Try to be as objective as possible and seek outside help. It can be difficult to let go. You can get nostalgia as to how it looks, or you know, emotional, that worked for me, or I really like that look, but it turns out that that's now dated and you need to be ready to move on. I'd say continually adapt and evolve. If you're stagnant and stale, it's not what you want to be. You want to stay as fresh as possible and keep improving. And our last one would be, I think it's also similar to what Bianca said, is celebrate the milestones. As an entrepreneur, you're on a roller coaster, and we think it's critically important to celebrate the milestones as wins, especially when starting out. They can be few and far between, and you don't want to let them go. You want to sort of acknowledge the success for all of us will be different things, but you want to make sure that if it is going in the right direction for you, at whatever scale you may be, don't underestimate it and celebrate it. And that's it from us.
Thank you.